In today's video, we will look at a specific game we are pretty sure you're very familiar with. We're talking about Axie Infinity. But why are we dedicating a video to this game, you might ask? Well, if you haven't heard of the news, the developers launched a new version of the game called Axie Infinity Origins last March. And so today, we will share with you what happened and what's going to happen after the momentous event in the crypto gaming community. So if you don't want to miss out, you better watch the video until the end. As always, we do want to give a disclaimer and mention that this is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors, so make sure you're always doing your own research and making your own decisions. Let's begin. Axie Infinity is the most popular blockchain game right now. This Pokemon-inspired play-to-earn game was created in 2018 and has since accumulated millions of active users every day, a rarity in the play-to-earn game industry. But we all heard the news, right? Axie Infinity's economy is in turmoil, and the hyperinflation of the financial gaming sector is killing players' winnings. In other words, Axie Infinity isn't as exciting as last year. But Sky Mavis, the studio behind the game, knew the problem and thought of a new solution last March. Axie Infinity Origins Alpha was released in March 2022. In this video, we will explain a bit about what is new in this version of the game. At the beginning of this year, Sky Mavis confirmed the alpha release of the first Axie Infinity Origin. The new version is a modified version of Axie Infinity. It will only be released as a trial, and when it's officially released, all player content won during the trial will not be retained. Before discussing Axie Infinity Origin, let's talk about the current version of Axie Infinity. Now, Axie Infinity is a Pokemon-inspired game, but instead of moving to collect creatures, you use it in battle. The bad thing about Axie Infinity is that you have to buy Axies before you can start playing. These Axies are creatures that you will use against other opponents in the game. And before the game currency collapsed, the price of entering the game was so high that players were taken aback. Players can win Axie Infinity revenue by winning battles, acquiring new Axies, and selling them on the market. They can also earn some income by selling or trading Smooth Love Potions or SLPs, the native token of the game. There's another way to earn with Axie Infinity, and that is by establishing a scholarship program. However, it's very different from academic scholarships. Usually, a scholarship in the game is when you lend your Axie creatures to other players and share the profits with them. While the game is currently the oldest and most successful NFT-based game, Axie Infinity has struggled in recent months due to hyperinflation. We explained in a previous video why the game economy is a disaster, partly because of scholarships and many other reasons. Hey, if you're liking this video so far, remember to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to enable the notifications so you'll be alerted whenever we post a new video. With the latest version of Axie Infinity Origin, players will have a completely unique experience. One of the differences between the old and new versions is that the SLP registration and price control features are modified according to the player's requirements. Players can no longer earn SLP from player modes and environments, and the only way to earn SLP in Axie Infinity Origin is to compete in arenas and lead the season. Additionally, by making runes and charms, the SLP burning mechanic is upgraded in Origins. Runes will grant passive abilities to Axie creatures, and charms on the other hand will extend what skills an Axie already has. Both skills will be available off-chain based on moon shards, the new in-game currency. To get the strongest amulets and runes, you must mint them in the blockchain by burning SLPs. In addition to this change, the team behind Axie Infinity made a major change in the game. Like we said earlier, in older versions, players had to purchase Axies before starting, which resulted in a very high entry price. In the new version, Sky Mavis introduces Bubba and Oleg, two of the three original Axies that new players can play before they start playing, and get them without paying a cent. Of course, these Axies will not be represented by NFTs and cannot be sold on the market. Also, they will not be able to win some SLPs in any way, and the only benefit of using it is for practicing before starting the game. This means that new players are not at risk of investing money and can voluntarily decide whether to invest in the game. These starter Axies are freely available, but these aren't the only Axies you can use for free, as you'll discover new features in Adventure Mode. The developers have created a storyline to follow in your footsteps to discover and use new free Axies. Now, with new game features in development, Sky Mavis is focused on simplification and smoothing the game for new players. For example, Axies in Origin will attack once a card has been played, meaning you don't have to select all the cards at once. At the beginning of the round, the trainer is constantly moving or playing cards or watching the opponent's movements. Axies in Origin only has hit points or HP. Additionally, unused energy and cards are not accumulated in rounds, and there are various mechanisms to reward or punish the trainers for handling cards. Origins will also introduce new ear and eye combat cards to be used in attack or defense. On the other hand, these cards have no attack or defense value in Axie Infinity Origin. Ultimately, there are no more critical hits in Origin. Instead, a new scenario called Rage will replace the game. There are no surprise attacks, and Rage should be used as a strategy to deal with the situation. In a newsletter published by Sky Mavis, the studio behind the popular game explains plans for the land system of Lunacia and the upcoming PvP tournament. It's not clear what Lunacia will look like, but it's most likely a 3D land game and there's no fighting in the first edition. Lunacia's gameplay is only open to Metaverse landlords, and players will get AXS on turf games in the future. The Axies you own will be your ticket to all the different features in Lunacia, so be sure to save some of them now. Honestly, the news is interesting, and we really hope that the developers deliver Axie Infinity Origin's future updates as well as the Lunacia game mode. What worries us, however, are the financial details of the game not mentioned in the newsletter. For example, if Sky Mavis continues the same economic model as the old version, Origin will only take a few months before experiencing another hyperinflation. We're not sure how the developers will deal with this particular issue, but since they're trying to meet the needs of the gaming community, we suspect they're overlooking something very important. In conclusion, here is a summary of what Sky Mavis has done and will do in the upcoming months. A gameplay trailer will be released shortly to showcase the Origin update, and according to Sky Mavis, the Origin launch site is complete and the team has added a bit of a touch to the graphics. Prior to launch, SLP's earning dropped by approximately 60% in daily play. More than 131,000 Axies were released through the Lunar New Year launch event, which will be one of the main pillars of the financial balance in the future. Axie Infinity's Twitter account has also attracted 1 million followers. With all this in mind, we thought it would be nice to take a look at Axie Infinity Origin and see what they bring to the table. In the massive community, we believe Axie Infinity will not fail this time around. That's our video for today. We hope you like it. So, what do you think about this new version of Axie Infinity and its upcoming Lunacia game mode? For those who have played Origin, what are your thoughts about it? Share all of the sentiments with us in the comment section below. Well, that's all for now. This is Investment Tribe. See you again tomorrow. Keep in mind to like, share, and subscribe.